don't need more motivation. Forget motivation. It comes like a sugar rush. Comes and it goes, leave you wanting more. You need to stop running from yourself. Because there's a strange moment that happens to a lot of people and nobody talks about it, because from the outside looking in, your life looks absolutely fine because you go to work, pay your bills, answer all your messages, you might go to the gym occasionally, and sometimes you laugh with your mates and your missus. You even have moments where your life actually feels pretty good. But then every now and again, usually when you're on your own, driving home, lying in bed, sitting staring into space with your phone in your hand, a thought starts to creep in that, is this really it? Not because your life's even terrible, because it isn't. That's what makes all of this so confusing. Your life's just fine. Comfortable enough so you don't have to make a change, but uncomfortable enough so that you never feel fulfilled. And that's such a dangerous place to live, because that's where it can all start to disappear. You don't one day wake up deciding to waste your life. It happens one comfortable day at a time. You tell yourself that you'll start next Monday, then next month, then next year. But before you know it, you spent 5 years rehearsing the same life that you didn't even want to live. And I know exactly what that feels like, because people see me now and they see someone who boxes, coaches, creates content about gratitude. What they don't see is the bloke who spent years believing that happiness was one achievement away. Because I thought more money would fix me. I thought winning boxing titles would fix me. I thought proving everybody wrong would fix me. I thought becoming successful and making money would finally make me feel like I was enough. But none of it did. Because I was asking success to solve a problem that it was never designed to solve. The problem wasn't my bank account, the problem wasn't my physique, and it wasn't my career. The problem was that I didn't like the man looking back at me in the mirror. And that's a painful thing to admit, especially when you're spending every day pretending that you've got everything under control. Because I spent years trying to escape myself, sometimes with drugs, sometimes with work, sometimes with trying to constantly achieve, sometimes with self-improvement. That one surprises people, because self-improvement can just become another addiction that leaves you feeling empty. You convince yourself that you're growing because you've read another book, watched another podcast, saved another YouTube video, bought another course. Meanwhile, your life stays exactly the same because you're consuming transformation, but you're not living the transformation. And that was me. I knew exactly what to do. We all know exactly what to do. I just could never understand why I wasn't doing it. Then one day I stopped asking, how do I become more successful? And I started asking myself, why do I believe success is the thing that's going to save me? And that one question changed everything, because it forced me to stop looking outside of myself and start looking in here. And in here, I started going to therapy. I invested in coaching. I started meditating, because for years I'd spent my life running from the silence. I started doing hypnosis, subconscious reprogramming, because I understood that my conscious goals and my subconscious minds were fighting each other every single day. And then something happened that sounds almost too simple. I started practicing gratitude, not that fake Instagram type gratitude, not pretending life was perfect, but real gratitude. The kind that makes you slow down long enough to realise that your life isn't missing nearly as much as you keep telling yourself that it is. And that's where gratitude and growth came from, not because it makes you passive, but because gratitude changed the lens which you see your entire life through. And when your perspective changes, your decisions change. And when your decisions change, your identity changes. And when your identity changes, your life can't help but change with it. And that's why I don't believe most people need another motivational video, because motivation soon wears off. You don't need another productivity hack, because you'll abandon it in 2 weeks anyway. You don't need another self-help book, because the answers aren't hiding inside chapter 12. That's what most people need. What most people need, is one brutally honest conversation. A conversation where somebody finally questions what you've spent years avoiding, the questions that expose the blind spots that you've become completely blind to. Because here's the truth. You cannot see the label when you're inside the bottle. That's why elite athletes have coaches. That's why elite fighters have cornermen. That's why the best business owners in the world still invest in mentors, not because they're weak, but because perspective is impossible to create from inside your own patterns. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you genuinely felt excited to wake up? Not excited because you're going on holiday, or because it's Friday, or because something external happened. I mean excited to wake up and live your actual life. And if you had to think about that answer, don't ignore that feeling, because that feeling isn't there to make you feel miserable. It's there to wake you up. Because if something inside you has been whispering, there's got to be more to life than this, then listen to it. Because that whisper doesn't just disappear, it just gets quieter every year that you ignore it. So if this conversation is resonating with you, click the link in the description and book your breakthrough call, because for 60 minutes we'll strip away the noise and uncover what's really keeping you stuck. We'll identify the blind spots that you can't see on your own, and if we're the right fit, I'll show you what rebuilding your life over the next 90 days really looks like. No pressure, no fake urgency, just one honest conversation, because sometimes that's all it takes to change the whole direction of your life. Gratitude and growth isn't about becoming somebody new. It's about stripping away everything that you've been carrying that was never really you in the first place, so you can finally become the person you always know you've been capable of being. So I'll see you in the next video, but don't bother clicking on the next video if you're not going to click the link in the description and book your breakthrough call. I'll speak to you soon.